Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newest edition of Military History Chronicles, where we are going to do our best to break down today's presidential debate between the incumbent President Joe Biden and the challenger, former President Donald Trump. Wow. I guess the first thing we could say is the takeaway I got out of this was CNN did a fabulous job in moderating this debate.
100%. I was blown away by that, actually. I was not expecting
Same
that.
here. I was totally shocked on how professional and right down the middle that CNN was with the moderating. I mean, they did fantastic. They didn't get involved. They just let the two old guys go at it, you know. They asked them specific questions. It was
stuck
up
to their guns. There was no softballs, really.
Nope.
I mean,
they didn't press them for an answer. They just said, "Hey, you got 35 more seconds to answer this, Mr. President. What else do you have to say about this?" And there is no way they could, that one candidate or another cannot say that the moderators were leaning one way or another. They were straight down the middle. So, and honestly, they were more professional than the damn candidates, man. Yeah. Will, we're talking about two individuals who are trying to become the next president of the United States, not the next contestant on any type of reality show.
Exactly.
They're not. It's kind of what I thought it was going to be honest with you. One thing I'll give credit for Trump in one aspect. He didn't come off as interrupting, or he kind of kept his cool. He had some facial expressions.
He held back.
He conducted himself better than he did in the past.
There you go. Towards the end, though, he started.
Yeah, he started getting a little
his
bit.
old tactic of we're gonna measure wee-wees when we talk about golf.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
But I mean, I think before we start, I hope after watching this debate, somebody out there is inspired to go out there and run for presidency. I hope it inspires a generation of people to go, oh man, we can't have this anymore. Let's go out there and make something happen. I hope that happens.
And here's another thing. Let's start here before you get to that. Let's talk about the way they present themselves. Trump looked put together. He was prepared. He was ready to go. He sounded good. He was making his points. Whatever. We'll get into the point stuff later. He was making his points. It seemed like he was coherent. Biden, man, he looked just. He just didn't look good. He just did not look. He didn't sound good. I mean, his voice, you could barely hear him. He was talking like this. I mean, I don't know if there was a way they could increase the gain on his mic, but there was just was not.
He and I don't mean this in any way against the old boy at all, but his eyes were kind of glazed over, and he was staring off into the abyss. He was just like, doing one of those things. It was really weird, man. Like a
couple of times, he just got that mental block.
Oh my God, he was discombobulated, and then he would go off on another tangent, like he was drunk almost, like a drunk would.
He was. I mean, exactly, and it almost like he was answering a question, and the next thing you know, he's talking about something totally different than what was even.
I have it in my notes. That's one of the first things he was, that I wrote down. Is he went out.
You asked a question on abortion, and he went to immigration.
Yeah, that's the one I wrote down. Exactly.
I was like, that?
Okay, what does that have to do with illegals murdering people?
It was so weird, dude.
What are you talking about, guys?
It was so weird. So, as far as the way that they were, conducted themselves, as their sound, the way they looked, presented their case, whatever it may be, Trump was definitely better in that.
Oh man, it wasn't even a comparison.
But my God, dude, it just turned into. Look, Biden has been in office for 4 years. but he's
Right.
blaming Trump for everything
Everything.
that happened in the administration before. That's not going to hold water. Trump talking about everything he did was perfect. Everything. There's not one bad thing that he's ever done. And it's like, it's hard. Look, I aced my cognitive taste. Come on, dude.
That's cool. I mean, happy for you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like,
But
come
I mean, I would have liked to see some more ownership. I mean, I get it. He's running for a campaign. You can't be too
Yes.
negative, even on your own self. But if there was some ownership over the COVID thing, hey, you know what? I made a mistake here.
and let's go there. COVID was a big issue.
And
In
here's what I
Administrations.
future. This happened again. Here's how I would do it. Here's how I would approach it this time. That would have been cool.
Yeah. I mean, Trump exactly didn't do the right thing during the COVID. We could all agree.
Yeah.
Spent way too much money. He was talking about, vaccine mandates, but yet he was the one that was doing the whole Operation
He was the one
Warp Speed.
pushing for it.
He was the one pushing for it. Now, Biden, on the same token, spending an additional $1.5 trillion,
Didn't help anything either.
and it didn't help. So both candidates did not function properly during the COVID crisis. We can all, I think, agree to that. They both have they got to own up to, like you said, to the mistakes that they made in
let's be
handling that
honest.
situation.
Nobody in office did their job at that time.
It was a total
It was a
governmental
yeah.
collapse when it came to COVID. Because what I want to know, and this is a debate that we could have for another time, was the response to COVID more to score political points, or was it more to actually help the American people?
Exactly.
That's something that could be argued, later on down the road when there's more empirical data, so you can actually study this stuff and make a pretty good educated guess on what was going on. So I think as far as COVID is concerned, yeah. I'll tell you one thing that pissed me off, dude. And I think you probably know where I'm going to go with this. I think you talked about it in a text you sent me.
One of the ones, it might be in my notes right now. There was underneath Biden, and it was one of the.
Yes.
It was right in the beginning.
In the beginning.
Biden says no troops are dying anywhere in
Yes.
the world like Trump. Bullshit.
That is a straight up, bold-faced lie.
More troops are dying now than there ever have been.
Look, let's just talk about troops dying. We're not going to even get into American citizens who've died.
There you go. Exactly.
Let's get into troops. 13 of them in Afghanistan, in the botched Afghanistan pullout.
And
I'm
I'm civilians that were involved as well. Another 38.
Exactly, right? You had 3 U.S. soldiers that died not recently in Iraq.
Yep.
Right? We threw a couple of missiles at them.
More injured in Kuwait.
We had a whole bunch of them being injured in Kuwait and Iraq. We've had I'm pretty sure we've had Americans die during the October 7th attack of Hamas against Israel.
Yeah, there were.
We still have Americans missing from that fateful day. I think there's Americans that are still trapped in Afghanistan because there was no, and it's like when Biden came out and said that, dude, that absolutely torqued me right there.
Hey, but guess what? Biden will trade those hostages, the American hostages, for a ceasefire.
You know what else? And I'm kind of glad Trump hit him on a couple of things on that. Talking about the debacle of Afghanistan, and I like how he linked Afghanistan with what's happening in the world today, because that's valid. I 100% agree with that. That is valid. He also talked about how he gave billions of dollars to Iran to get 2 guys back, right? Was it 2 or 3? Paid them billions. I think it's a little disingenuous for Trump to say that Iran was broke when he was in office. Iran was not broke.
I think he tried to. I don't think those are the right.
That was a little bit weird because look, Hamas has been getting money for decades.
Right.
They give it, and look, and it's not like Hamas was poor when Trump was in office. That's not right. They were just they had their tunnels, they had everything. They were just planning. They were just waiting for the right time to hit. That's what terrorists do. They wait for the right time to hit. And to sit there and say that Iran was broke because of him, that is not, I think, that was a bad take.
Right.
I don't think that is correct. Both of them were going at each other about how much they've done for veterans. That was quite interesting. And honestly, both have done. The PACT Act by Biden passed is actually pretty good for for a lot of people who served, especially in the region. So that's how people, for those of you who are out in the chat, I don't know how many of you are disabled veterans, but it will help you with if you decide to file a claim and try to get your disability either established or maybe increased. So yes, I give them that. But Trump also did a lot for veterans. Have you ever heard of the TPD?
Oh yeah.
The total and permanent what was it? No, what was it? I'm trying to remember it. Not disability. It's basically what happened. Deferment. It's a deferment. Total and permanent deferment, I think, or something like that. I think that's what it stands for. In other words, if you're a veteran who's total and permanent and you accumulate any student debt, whether it's for yourself or for your child or your spouse, it can be forgiven. All of it. 100%.
Total and permanent disability discharge.
Yeah, total and permanent disability discharge. That's what it's called.
Boom.
And that's something that Trump had passed while he was in, which is fantastic for any veterans out there who meet the criteria to have that, because you're basically being able to send your kids through college free, which is fantastic for veterans. That's something that was never heard of before. So both of them have done good things for quote unquote veterans.
Right.
What's up, Glenn? Now let's talk about the military and how things have been going on. That's a whole different.
Oh man.
Where
I do have this written in my notes though. When Biden says something, he goes, "I've taken better care of vets than anyone else in the history of this country," and that's a fact, Jack. Are you serious, dude? Like, come on.
That sounds
bro.
like a bunch of malarkey. He dropped the malarkey.
He did drop it more. One of my favorite comebacks came early on in this whole thing, though, and I wrote it down. Was Trump goes, "I don't know what he just said, and I don't think he does either."
Oh yeah, yeah.
But anyways, but as far as the
Dave,
military goes, as far Biden claiming to think that he's the most popular person when it comes to I'll tell you what, when I was still in when Trump was president. And we love that guy.
Yeah. Yep.
Unequivocally.
See, I unfortunately I wasn't in. I was in halfway through Obama's second term. So
yeah, I was in.
Didn't get to experience what he was like. I see Babe talking about the 200 billion to you. Got to be careful with that. That's not really legitimate. It's not $200 billion. Equipment, yes. There was a shit ton of equipment. About 90% of that is probably equipment. Don't get me wrong. There is still some money that goes there because that country has to get rebuilt. The entire country of Ukraine is being absolutely destroyed because of the Russians. Right. So and you think it's expensive now? Wait until after the war is over and you got to rebuild all that. That is going to be absolutely, you want to talk about some mind-boggling numbers? Wait till you see what happens with that. But anyways, thanks, Spencer. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, right on, man.
Where else I going to go? Oh, ooh, yeah. That was a thing that I kind of did not like what Trump did. They asked a specific question. There was two specific questions. Me and you kind of were talking about it. They specifically, but then again, they did. These are the two questions that just died out in my mind. I mean, neither candidate answered any of the questions that the moderators asked, which were valid questions. They asked some pretty good questions. And all they did was it was just an attack on the other person. That's all it was.
Right.
When they ask him about immigration and what's he going to do with immigration, he's talking about the massive deportation the country's ever seen, blah, blah, blah. He didn't even touch it.
No.
Didn't touch it. And that's a huge question I think people want to know. Yes, I think immigration is one of the biggest issues. I think that's for this election. It's going to be one of the biggest. I think the biggest one, of course, is going to be economy. Secondly, is probably going to be immigration. I don't think that was a valid answer that he gave. As a matter of fact, it wasn't even an answer. He didn't acknowledge it. Right. The other one, when he was talking about the war in Ukraine, How are you going to negotiate with Putin? Blah, 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 blah. Totally ignored that. Didn't even answer it. It was just, and there's another thing, speaking, kind of, this is my more expertise in foreign affairs. When I can't believe Trump brought up, there's an ocean that separates us.
Yeah, I wrote that down in my notes.
That was a huge miss on Trump.
He decided to take a more isolationist
Isolationist, yes, he did. And that, I'm sorry, is not.
And then that left the door open for Biden to kind of hammer him just a bit.
And Biden hammered him because honestly, in some of the things that Biden said about foreign affairs and what he did and what he's doing with NATO and Ukraine, I agree with.
Right.
I've been on record to say here, there's something. There has to be victory in Ukraine. There is no way you can allow Putin to achieve any kind of victory. You can't. How you go about that? That's good. That's a bigger question. But for Trump to sit there, there's an ocean between us. Look.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about that. Trump wasn't wrong. We talked about this on this show many a time. If it weren't for freaking Afghanistan, we probably wouldn't be where we are right now.
And you know what? I will 100%. We said that. Now, is it a guarantee? Can I sit here and tell you guys it's 100%?
No, by no means, no.
But you damn well know it played a role in Putin doing what he is doing. It played a role in China and doing what they're doing because China's been playing the long game for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm thinking it's possible that the whole debacle of Afghanistan may have kind of sped up their timeline a little bit.
Well, see, like Trump said, it made us look weak. It's an embarrassment.
Yes, it is,
and it was.
So, it was, and I 100% agree with that. And we've said that over and over that Afghanistan is a moment where it showed us at our weakness.
Yep.
And now everybody else is taking advantage of it. Now, if Trump was elected during that time, does it mean that Putin wouldn't have? We don't know. That's hard to answer. Mm. What I've been saying is, for the first 4 years of his first term, I think there's a lot of question marks and what people, I'm talking about other world leaders may wonder what is this? Yeah, exactly. How is this guy operating? We don't got a book on him. How's he going to? He wasn't cut from the same cloth of other politicians, right?
Exactly. He's not a politician.
And honestly, and that's why people were so excited about electing him in the first go around.
Right.
But could there have been a prevention in Afghanistan? It could have been a prevention of what happened in Ukraine. That's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But
one thing is for certain, though, we would have been close by if something were to happen. We could easily supply. I mean, you would think from that area at least. We would be in the AO. We would have a presence at least. We don't have a presence over there anymore. We don't have a presence. I mean, yeah, we're still in the Middle East, but nowhere near as much as we are now.
Exactly. Talking about tariffs, we're kind of going all over the place. I don't like the idea of tariffs. Talking about specifically the economy, tariffs don't always work because the price gets just passed on to the consumer.
Right.
That's just what happens. I mean, does it generate? It might generate some money, but you know who's footing the bill? Yeah, the American.
Well, it's us.
The American consumer is paying
those toys you like to buy your children at Christmas.
Yep.
A little bit higher because they come from China right now, and
exactly because they're going to pass on. Exactly, that's what they're going to do, man.
10-point tariff right now, and then again, Trump did come back and say, okay, well, if it was so bad, how come we didn't get rid of him?
True.
Which is right. That's there's nothing wrong with that, but I mean, at the end of the day, it still didn't really help anything.
Because right now the government they're getting free money, they don't care what's happening to the consumer.
100%, man. And again, they're spending that money on what have you now. I mean, and again, that seemed to be like the like as we discussed a little bit earlier, that seemed to be the answer to Biden's everything. He didn't really have any kind of fix it. It was always, we're going to spend more money here. We're going to spend more money on this. Mm-hmm. Even when they were talking about national debt, he thinks the best idea is to spend more money. It's
exactly.
Okay.
And I love this. This was a great point that Trump made, talking about Social Security. how
That
you're
was a
giving
good one.
you're giving all these illegals coming across, you're letting them have
Thank you.
access Social Security that other people have paid. A lot of people in the chat, you guys have paid into Social Security. That money is going to pay for people who came into this country illegally.
Yeah.
That's taking money out of your pocket that you have
Well, I mean,
paid.
we
during
got a
the times
couple of
they've
guys in the
worked.
chat right now. We got Glenn and Dan in here. They're in their 60s, man. Like, oh, what's going to
They're
be
getting
left
close. They're getting
I mean,
close to being able to start collecting that.
I mean, what the hell, dude? Like,
I mean, that's good. And oh my God, the immigration, Biden, dude. Oh, did you
hold on, we go.
check this out? Remember what he said? What did he say about the Border Patrol?
Oh, they love him. He's the greatest president of all time. They love him. They endorsed. That's the one. Thank you so freaking much.
So he sits there. Biden sits there and says, "I'm endorsed by the Border Patrol." Border Patrol Union comes out with a tweet shortly thereafter. To be clear, we never have and never will endorse Biden.
Exactly. They know better.
You can't. Unbelievable, man. I mean, that's just. And then he brings up a quote that was talking about this is back when Trump was president. I'm like,
Right.
I don't even know why he's bringing up the whole. There's good people on each side. That has been taken out of context, and it's been proven that it's been taken out of context. It's absolutely ridiculous how they hang on. There's good people on both sides. They just take those few words and they turn it into something that it isn't.
Yeah.
It's a soundbite, and it's been proven, and that's dumb. Look, you got other things you can use rather than using quotes that have been proven are out of context. And if you're using them in a way, come on, dude, that is just absolutely ridiculous.
That's disingenuous, and it's just
It is.
It's asinine to do something like that on a stage like that big.
I know.
You're gonna get found out, and right now it looks like he's getting found out.
Yep.
And secondly, the other thing that I think kind of hurt him a bit too was he kind of, in a way, if you support MAGA, he pretty much called you a national socialist today.
Yeah, pretty much. He said you're a threat to democracy.
He pretty much called you
He said that.
Good old Nazi, man. I don't want to
Unbelievable.
use the in there just in case.
What was proven on that statement when he said there's good people on both sides? He wasn't talking about the extremists on both sides.
Yeah,
He's talking about people on arguments on both sides that are, moderate, that have certain points that they want to make. And as far as if you go take a look at the state, you just have to Google it. Google Trump's. There's good people on both sides. You read the entire quote of what he said. You'll see it's totally taken out of context.
Yeah, it was completely taken out of context.
Oh, and then, this is actually pretty good. They kind of went back at each other. Freaking Biden hits him with being a felon. He's like, "Oh yeah, your son's a convicted felon.
Yeah, your son's a felon, and you
good.
probably are too."
Yeah, and then you probably are too." So he kind of, that was pretty good.
That was pretty nice.
Those are pretty good jabs there.
And then
where did Biden get saying that 500,000 Ukrainian troops have died?
I don't know what numbers.
Where did he get that?
500,000.
500,000? What are you talking about? 500,000? What is that?
They didn't make any sense. Didn't make any. Well, where is that number coming from?
I have
Where
no idea.
do you pull that out of his butt?
I don't know, man. I have no
the
idea.
The one thing that I really like that Biden dodged. He was dodging this one for a while when they brought up the kind of the minority situation. Trump came back with saying, "Hey, you're taking away from the minorities because you're bringing in all these illegals. And they're taking their freaking jobs." And he's not wrong. And they're not only taking their jobs, but they're forcing them out of their own neighborhoods. They had a big protest in Chicago not too long ago.
They did.
That's exactly what's happening.
I saw that. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Oh my God.
And those are Americans.
Guys. Hey guys, remember that chart I put up in the last time that we just had about a week ago? Remember?
Oh yeah, we're making progress. Show them those graphs.
Remember the graphs, and we were talking about
that's progress.
deaths of despair. Remember and what was the biggest jump? Drugs. right?
It was
Did you
opioid-
hear?
it was
Did you
drug
hear what
overdoses.
Joe Biden says is the solution to the fentanyl crisis in America? Machines.
Yeah.
He said to
We
fight
need better
the fentanyl,
testing machines at
we
the
need
border.
machines at the border. That's what he said.
We
What
need
is
better
that?
machines at the
Machines.
border.
What
Are
is
you
he
going to hire a bunch
talking
of?
about?
You're going to hire a bunch of Terminator 2s out there? Like they're going to be able to look through,
Machines.
That was
There's
there's fentanyl there.
keeping fentanyl out of the United States.
Yeah,
Please,
keep-
someone explain that to me, especially when you have a porous border. Yeah, because that's what drug dealers do. They come right through the
Oh.
ports of entry with loads of fentanyl. Yeah.
By the way, it's so porous that the drug capital of the whole North America right now is actually LAX.
Coming in through either the
Fancy
airport.
that. It's LA freaking X.
You know what else too? It comes in through maritime shipping too.
Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, it's absolutely
Get your machines
ridiculous.
up.
Some of these things that he was saying, and it's just, yeah, I didn't like that. We talked about that, Mark. Yeah, where he totally deflected on the immigration. He totally deflected on Putin.
Mhm.
They deflected on everything, man. They deflected on everything.
They
This-
both did. No, let's be honest there.
And Senior put it up there. This is the worst debate in presidential history by two of the worst candidates.
Yeah.
Oh, Trump! It wasn't just Trump; it was Biden too. It was both of them were absolutely bad,
I thought
and this is just not. Thank you, Jimmy. Yes, this is an embarrassment. And guess what,
and
guys?
That's exactly what I told Eric. I texted him during the whole thing. I said, "Man, dude, we look like an absolute joke right now."
100%. Oh, what did he say? Oh, hold on, I gotta see this. Hold on 1 second. All right, carry on. And let me just look
That's
at this
all
real
good.
quick.
I also thought that Trump handled the January 6th question half-assed decently. It wasn't the greatest situation. I do like the fact that he brought Pelosi, said, yeah, maybe I should have taken those net. What the hell? Pardon the intrusion there, guys, on the old phone arena.
Ooh, I'm gonna. This is something different. Never mind. All right, this is something else. I'm gonna read here.
Oh,
All
okay.
right. No, it's nothing that it's something I'm gonna read. It's about Cold War stuff and what's going on with Putin. I'm not gonna worry about that right now.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Let me get to the chat real quick. Jimmy, you're absolutely correct. What were you?
Let's talk about January 6th. I thought
He
Trump
deflected on January 6th.
I think he handled about as good as he could. He wasn't going to be able to win that one no matter what.
No way.
I don't think so. He
Nope.
kind of handled that with kid gloves and just tossed to the side. We call that in sales world kind of like a porcupine question. You just go, oh, there you go, hot potato. Throw it back in there, kind of throw it back in their lap, and that's cool. And then Biden came back saying, "Oh, he wants commute sentences. You're such a whiner and all that."
Yeah, such a whiner. Yeah, exactly. Some of the facial expressions he was doing too were kind of just.
He was off. You could tell he was listening to somebody. Obviously they both are, but I mean, he.
And then Senior says, "Man, I hope Biden steps down for the betterment of the country." All right, let's get into this now.
Okay, go for it. Yeah, that's a good one.
You guys may have already seen this. Let's take a listen here real quick. I'll just read this real quick and then we'll listen. CNN chief national correspondent John King says that following President Biden's debate performance, senior Democrat officials are now considering going to the White House and publicly call on Biden to bow out of the race. So let's take a listen.
Was a game-changing debate in the sense that right now, as we speak, there is a deep, a wide, and a very aggressive panic in the Democratic Party. It started minutes into the debate, and it continues right now. It involves party strategists, it involves elected officials, it involves fundraisers. And they're having conversations about the president's performance, which they think was dismal, which they think will hurt other people down the party in the ticket, and they're having conversations about what they should do about it. Some of those conversations include, should we go to the White House and ask the president to step aside? Other of the conversations are about, should prominent Democrats go public with that call? Because they feel this debate was so terrible. They do say in moments in the debate later, the president got better and got his footing, but then at the end, even his closing statement was a little halting. The contrast between the two was a game-changing debate.
Well, there you go.
And Mo
Now,
brings
even
up
you
a
got
good
if
point.
CNN. What do we got here?
Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, man, exactly, Mel. Biden was hammering on Trump for firing the generals, holding them accountable. And Trump fired back and says, well, what'd you do for the guys in the Border Patrol? Did you ever fire any of those guys?
Mm-hmm.
And of course he did.
I like what Patrick Fox says here. On a quick personal observation before I get into the stuff that was covered that actually falls into my wheelhouse, this is the first debate I can remember where it was blindly obvious that the two men on stage genuinely hate each other's guts and made no effort to hide the fact.
You know what? To be honest, I didn't really get that feeling. I mean, I think there's obviously some kind of disdain, but I don't think it's like
there's something going on there because
you
can see they didn't even shake hands.
They didn't look at each other either.
They didn't look at each other. They didn't shake hands. I mean, this was.
But I mean, I don't know. I didn't take it that way. I think it's more just opposing ideologies right now. They're just so far divided that it's not even funny, more than anything. Yeah, you did call him Brandon too. That's right, Aaron.
Yeah, he called him Brandon. I heard that.
Oh my God. That's CNN, man.
That's not good.
That's CNN, boys and girls.
Wow. And look, I'm not putting this up to say that I'm happy. I'm just showing you what they're reporting.
That's a massive. I think it was a mistake having Biden going up there. Maybe they wanted him to go up there after all. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to put somebody else. And somebody in the chat was like Newsom. I'm like, oh man, hopefully not. Does Biden really wear a diaper? I wouldn't. I would have put it past him. And you know, he's an older guy. So
I remember this.
It is what it is, man.
Oh, brother. Remember? Hold on.
Yeah, Weekend at Bernie's. That's exactly what it looked. Damn. Babe Rock has got it to a T. Weekend at Bernie's. That's exactly what he looked like. He was just sitting there.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Look at this. You'll remember this.
Oh, they're okay.
Here they call it the kill shot.
Until we get the total ban
Listen
on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of this. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
That was so good.
That was
laughing
good.
So hard. I was
that
like,
was a
oh,
good
man.
one. Yeah, I was sitting there going, "Oh my God!" He goes.
At the same time, I was thinking to myself, "Well, be careful of the insults, because you know."
Damn. He's got to bring the Giants involved in it.
Dan was us talking Lamont Wade today because he's on my team. See how you operate, Dan. I see how you operate.
I love this. Oh, okay, guys. We're I love this. This is great.
No, I didn't see that D-show. They cut the cameras off from my thing.
Take a look at what he is.
These dudes have been calling each other the worst president in history for 80 straight minutes, and neither one of them got really offended until their golf skills were questioned.
That's true.
Here we go.
Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. You know, I got my handicap when I was vice president down to a 6. And by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
What's the biggest one? It was a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8. But
Okay.
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay, let's
you
start.
know how many
Like
rounds-
children.
President Trump, we're going to.
Come on. This is a debate to be president of the United States of America, and you're damn arguing over your golf game.
I know. So I was talking to my old man. I was like, I think Trump took the bait towards the end there. They had a little measuring contest, and he should have stayed away from that. But
he just should have just laughed it off, and then now did it. Don't.
And that should have been the end of it. Okay, cool, whatever, man. It is what it is. But no, they went there. Let's see what else we got here. Look through my notes. I got 13 pages of notes.
What's
Oh. I thought the climate thing was kind of weird.
this? They didn't even talk about it.
They
That
both
was
they
dumb.
well Trump did. He called it the new green scam, and then he went back on the Paris Accord. Said, "Yeah, it would cost the United States $1 trillion." And he said it would have cost China and Russia zero, and they treat us horribly.
Wow,
And
it
that-
says CNN grills Kamala Harris, should Joe Biden step aside? And here's quote. These are all quotes here. Here, let me just put it up here. Here we go. CNN's John King has described a panic in the Democratic Party right now because of Biden's performance. Some in your party are even asking if President Biden should step aside. What do you say to that? I guess answers. The president's performance tonight. Oh, wait. Oh. Was that hers? Hold on. Let's listen.
Some within your own party are wondering if President Biden should even step aside. What do you say to that?
Listen, first of all, what we saw tonight is the president making a very clear contrast with Donald Trump on all of the issues that matter to the American people. Yes, there was a slow start, but it was a strong finish. And what became very clear through the course of the night is that Joe Biden is fighting on behalf of the American people on substance, on policy, on performance. Joe
But on-
Biden is extraordinarily strong.
But
And
I'm sorry,
that
on
cannot
substance
be
and
debated.
policy and performance tonight, I mean, the president's performance tonight clearly was disappointing for his supporters. CNN is reporting Democratic lawmakers watching the debate were worried about the president's performance. One said it was a disaster. Another called it a train wreck. Those are Democrats especially worried that Biden did not punch back on Trump's lies.
Listen, people can debate on style points, but ultimately this election and who is the president of the United States has to be about substance. And the contrast is clear. Look at what happened during the course of the debate. Donald Trump lied over and over and over again, as he is wont to do. He would not disavow what happened on January 6th. He would not give a clear answer.
He did.
Stand by the election results this November. He went back and forth about where he stands on one of the most critical issues of freedom in America, which is the right of a woman to make decisions about their own.
No, he was very clear.
No, he was pretty clear on that.
Completely ambiguous
States' rights.
and all over the place about where he stands on that issue, despite the fact that he hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. And that's exactly what they did. And just 3 years ago, we commemorated the 2-year anniversary of Dobbs, wherein women across our country have been denied emergency health care.
All that may be
suffered
true. All
miscarriages
that
to
may
the
be
point
true. But the president of the
these
United
facts are
States
very
was not
important.
able to make that case to Donald Trump on the stage tonight. I mean, you debated against then Vice President Vice President Biden 4 years ago, and he was a very different person on the stage 4 years ago when you debated him. You must, I mean, that's certainly true, is it not?
Anderson, the point has to be performance in terms of what a president does. A
Right, but
president
but
who
that is
incites
what's
an
scary for
insurrection
people
against the
watching this.
Capitol. No, but I got the point that you're making about a 1.5-hour debate tonight. I'm talking about 3.5 years of performance in work that has been historic.
But
whether
is that
it be
the man who
infrastructure,
we
the
saw
former
on the
guy, the
stage
other guy,
tonight? Is that
the other
person
guy
you
on
see
the
in
debate
meetings every day?
stage, the person that you saw on the debate stage that has, for the last 3.5 years, up until today, performed in a way that has been about
Up
whether
until
it be in the
today?
Oval Office,
Okay.
negotiating
So today, all of a sudden,
bipartisan
he's bad.
deals,
Got it.
so that we have an infrastructure, a real infrastructure plan where we're putting trillions of dollars on the streets of America to upgrade our infrastructure. Whether it be the person I
That's
see
gonna
in
fix
the
the debt.
Oval Office, who is meeting with heads of the military and the intelligence community and in the Situation Room, ensuring the safety of America. The person I see in Joe Biden on the world stage, convening world leaders who often ask for his advice, most recently just during the G7 conference. So I'm not going to spend all night with you talking about the last 90 minutes when I've been watching the last 3.5 years of
Oh,
performance.
he's not liking it.
But this was a debate that your campaign wanted. You pushed for this debate at this moment. Obviously, I mean, you can't honestly say, I mean, can you say that you are not concerned at all having watched the president's performance tonight?
It was a slow start. That's obvious to everyone. I'm not going to.
Wow, man. They put the screws to her.
They did.
I was not expecting that at all, man. That was
Look at this.
That's different.
It's time.
There we go. We called the boys. Who was it? Was it Spencer or D-Shot in here?
There's no way. There's
Stand
no
up and
way. There's
stand
no
up and
way.
Be counted. Stand up and be counted. It's gonna
There's
be
no
news.
way. There's no way he gets elected in a national election, because he's got all you got to do is point to the state of California. There's no way he gets the nomination.
My God, what is happening? We're seeing a complete, they're just dumping Biden off now. Holy smokes, man. What a complete 180. It just seems
CNN's
to be
Aaron
happening
Burnett
overnight.
says Joe Biden's debate performance. He goes through 6 days of preparation at Camp David. They know the rules. He practices with the mics. He knows every one of these questions is coming, and yet he couldn't fill the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here.
All right, what else we got here?
Oh, yes. Biden talking about the solvency of his he thinks that by taxing people who make more than $400,000 a year is going to help the solvency of CNN or Social Security, and it's not. After you imported all those people, after all this open borders thing, and that was Trump's response too. And Biden came back. So remember, Trump was talking about how, the United States is no longer respected. Nobody cares about this country. We're not like we used to be. We're being destroyed. Biden comes back and says, no one thinks for a week. Tell the Houthis that. How about that? That's what I would have said if I was Trump. And that's one thing Trump never brought up. He never talked about the Houthis.
Ooh. More CNN stuff, guys. I'm just looking for stuff. Here we go. More CNN.
Fire away, my friend.
Two of them decided after November of 2022 that he was going to seek the presidency when there were so many people who thought he should have turned it over to a new generation. And this has been, quite frankly, a car accident in slow motion that we've seen over and building and questioning it. And, as has been pointed out, Joe Biden sought this debate at this remarkably early time because he knew he was losing and he needed to change the narrative. And he did change the narrative. He sunk his campaign tonight. That the two of them decided after November of 20.
Whoa, did you hear that?
Sunk his campaign.
Can we play a clip from the Titanic movie when they're all jumping off the ship? Will we get demonetized and thrown off of YouTube?
Wait, what's going on here real quick?
Oh my God, it's like they just torpedoed this guy. On MSNBC. Yeah, you're probably right, Spencer. I might actually watch that for once. As crazy as that sounds.
All right, here, let me do this real quick.
Oh, Trump blamed COVID for the addiction rates going up during his watch, and there's probably some truth to that, but
golly, man. I mean, honestly, when CNN is reporting this kind of stuff,
it makes you wonder what's happening. That's pretty crazy.
I mean, there's a lot of people. You got You got Anderson Cooper. You got what's his name? We just saw Chris Wallace.
Both of those guys have been both vehement shit talkers, for lack of a better word. And here they are.
Oh, hold on. I got to see this.
Fire on up. I think you're right, Mark. I'm smelling what you're stepping in. Dan said it earlier, too. I think you guys are right. I don't think. No, Senior. I think it's the opposite. I think Trump's actually a pretty strong candidate.
Here we go. This is this kind of wraps it up in a nutshell, guys. Here we go. This is from Sergei Radichenko. He's a historian that I follow, and I'm reading his book right now.
Yeah.
This election is doing more to discredit American democracy than Putin and Xi Jinping could ever hope to.
Yep.
I am worried about the image projected to the outside world. I was just going to get into this.
We exactly talked about that.
Image of leadership. It is an image of terminal decline.
Thank you.
Will, how many times have I been on the show saying this very thing?
Oh, I don't know. Probably since
its inception.
we began
Since the
this whole.
inception. Since the inception.
Ever since I came on the show with you, we've been talking about this.
We've been talking about what do I always harp on? I always talk about leadership. And when you have a lack of leadership, this is what you get. With that, hey, we're going to bring in a special guest. Look at it. What's up, Dan?
Hey, guys. Hey, I'm on my phone because my computer's packed. So, you know, I've been listening to you guys, and the more I'm thinking of this, I'm smelling something.
Smells like a setup, doesn't it?
Let me turn this other one off, you guys. There we go. I'm smelling a rat, man. The Democrats are not a stupid party. They always are planning things. I believe this was a setup to make Biden look bad because they knew that they could not win this election going in with just the way it was going with Biden. And so they know Biden can't talk with no notes. Why would you agree to a debate with no notes, mic shut off so you can't interrupt, and a side-by-side camera to make you look like you're senile?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Supposedly, though, he's been practicing in Camp David for both campaigns.
They practice, but they know that once he's not going to, in the pressure moments, he's not going to. We've seen him for 3 years, the better part of the last year and a half, just totally stumbling constantly. And this debate was set up and agreed to by both parties' leaders, you know. So I think it was like, look, we couldn't get Joe to drop out during the primaries. So let's just make him, you know, because everybody's saying it now. There's no network defending him.
No, there isn't.
I think he was set up to fall because
I think they knew he was going to fall anyways. But here's the deal. It's going to be up to him whether he drops out. The only way they can literally force him out is when it comes time to convention time.
Right.
And I think by that time, though, it might be too late. Because how do you generate?
But you know what? They may be playing. They may have a candidate in mind that they want to push for, you know, the next time, or who knows. I just don't think that I wouldn't have agreed to that.
That format
if I was handling, you know, look, if I had my dad had not Alzheimer's, but
dementia.
No, Parkinson's. All right.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, he's totally fine mentally, but if he had Alzheimer's, I would never put him out there to embarrass himself. You know, I care about him.
Right.
I mean, this is. Yeah, I don't think Biden's been running the country for the last 3.5 years. I think it's a underground shadow government. I think Obama's been calling the shots, and that's why Biden was his original running mate, and that's why they put him in there, because he's the only one that's, you know, doesn't know what's going on. So the decisions are just being made for him, and there's no way you can convince me that they agreed to this setup and now all of a sudden they're acting shocked. Come on. You don't think they knew this guy was not fit before tonight? We all saw it.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're
Interesting.
around him every day.
Mm.
So
But
I
this
think-
goes to the point of what Sergey is saying here. And this is very telling, because you got to remember the rest of the world is watching this.
Right.
We're talking about people who are not friendly to the United States, and maybe some who are friendly to the United States and wondering what kind of crap is going on in that country. Because just like he says, this election is doing more to discredit American democracy than Putin and Xi Jinping could ever hope to. I'm worried about the image projected to the outside world. It's not an image of leadership. It's an image of terminal decline.
Right. This
And
is
that's
the best
scary.
The United States has
That is
to offer.
scary.
This is the best we have as
Exactly.
the
As
best
the United
country in the
States of
world that
America.
Biden says. Biden says we're the greatest country in the world. I don't think we are anymore. I think we've lost face on that one big time, especially after tonight.
And as far as leadership is concerned, 100%. What kind
Question
of
for you
leadership are we
guys.
showing right now?
Question for you guys. Does he finish out his term?
Oh yeah.
Oh, this one right here?
Yeah. I mean, he's only got about
A few
6,
more
8
months.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah, he finishes out. No problem.
I guess. I mean, he probably does, but I mean, is this? I mean, if he is still on the ticket in November, is this a Reagan-esque type landslide? Could I mean, we're hearing. I heard a poll tonight that 5 people that were voting that were. This was on one of the networks. They were doing what do they call those things? A town
meeting.
Yeah, whatever those things. And they said 5 of them were Biden
Independent?
supporters.
Oh.
Biden supporters going in. All 4 of them said they changed their mind. They're not voting for Biden, and 1 said they're not voting for either. So that's just one. I mean, and you're seeing on CNN, 33% say Biden won and 67 Trump.
Yeah.
Come on. That's really, if you factor that out, that's more like 90-10.
That's huge.
I mean, there isn't one handler that I've heard on the Democrat side say that Biden won. He did damage to him. His president, it's over. He the line for Politico tonight, I think, was it's he's buried. It's done. Bobby Kennedy or Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was interviewed, and they asked him, "Do you think this helped your chances?" He says, "I have no idea how that works." He says, "I can only tell you that I don't know how it helped mine, but it definitely hurt Biden."
No, yeah, I agree.
It's really. How old is Biden right now? Is he 82?
They said he's going to be 86 at the end of the second term.
Okay, so he's 85 right now. Then he
no, the end of the second term.
So he's
at the end of the second term. So
he'll be 86.
82,
So he's like
he must be 81-ish right
Yeah.
now. Which, yeah, I mean, there's just I don't know how anybody a vote for Biden is not a vote for Biden. It's an anti-Trump.
It's a vote against Trump.
Exactly,
100%.
and that's what that
and there's
is.
a lot of that still out there. There's
And
still a lot of people.
the one thing,
who
too,
hate
that-
Trump so bad that they'll vote for Biden.
Oh yeah, and the one thing that Biden brought up was 12 Nobel laureates said that you're the worst president in American history. Well, yeah, they say it because they don't like the guy. I mean, it's that simple. I mean,
policy-wise, he did some good things. He didn't.
oh yeah,
But
he
everything.
wasn't the worst. There's
not
worse
everything-
presidents than him. We could probably pick those off, no problem, Eric. I mean,
Right. But I think the factor. I think the one thing that Trump did tonight that really helped him was just constantly hitting the immigration and how 18 million. He kept saying, "You've killed so many people. You've killed." Because of all these people, that have been killed by illegal immigrants, and then the fact that these illegal immigrants are living in posh hotels and getting all this money and benefits, and That's pissing a lot of people off that are losing jobs to these people.
Well, and the other thing that he brought up too that was really good was the fact that when he's not wrong, when the money that's going to these people who are coming over the border, it's coming out of our Social Security, it's coming out of us for retiring and our Medicare, and that's not going to be there because we got a whole influx of these people, and they're paying these guys $60,000 a year just to, I don't know, sit on their butt.
Yeah, it's really robbing. It's rob. You know, I read up on that stuff because I not only am, I'm eligible. I can turn Social Security on right now. I'm 62.
Yeah.
But,
the early. Yeah.
But I'm waiting, because I want to max out, but I don't want to wait too long before they cut it. Yeah. Because I gotta, if I take it, I'll get grandfathered pretty much, But if you wait too long, let's say
it may not be there if you wait.
Exactly. Let's say I wait till I'm 68, 69, you max out at 70.
Right.
That's my plan is I'd like to wait till 70 and max out. But let's say I wait till 70, I may end up getting what I would have got at 66.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nikki Haley is now tweeting an hour ago, mark my words, Biden will not be the Democratic nominee. Republicans, get your guard up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think he is. I mean, they are, I don't know if you played it. I think you did. Yeah. John King with the meeting at the White House now trying to discuss things. I mean, this again, I don't think this is a surprise. I know how the Democrats operate. They had this planned, I believe, and it's all a smokescreen, and they're acting like they're in panic. Right. They were ready for this. They were. You think they really thought Joe was going to go out there and ace it?
Yeah, exactly.
Not in this format. Because, look, and you know how we know the Democrats, they've had the media on their side, right? The media has been covering for Biden.
Not anymore.
Tonight, the media was so fair. This debate, you would have thought it was like on Fox or something. These moderators were fair. They cut off Biden.
Oh, they were awesome.
Yeah.
It was probably the best moderated debate I've seen in many, many years because
it's like we went back in time.
Yeah. And I think CNN is in on it too. That's their net. I mean, they're a left-leaning network, and this is just, I just don't think things are always set up the way we think they are. That you have to know at that level that your guy is not capable of going out there. No, what was it? What was the agreement? They could take notes, but they could have no notes in front of them.
Right.
Correct.
So they could not have notes. Their mics were cut off.
But I saw Joe. He had a piece of paper, right? You could write stuff down.
You could write stuff down.
Mm-hmm. He was writing stuff down in the beginning.
You couldn't go in there with notes. You couldn't have anything in your earpiece. He was left on an island by himself. And this guy's got dementia. They're acting like it's a surprise.
It's not a surprise.
I was not believe me, I've seen him do these blunders all the time. I was expecting this. This is why I was like, I can't wait to watch this. This is going to be,
what though?
Entertaining.
Here's what I was concerned. I thought people were setting the bar so low for Joe Biden that anything above that bar was going to be a success, even if it was a disaster.
Exactly.
Because that's what they were saying last time in 2020. Oh, this guy can't come. He's got to be hyped up on drugs. He's got to be this. But he came out and he was actually okay during the debates. The problem is Trump made himself look so bad during the debates. He made him look like a bully. He just didn't go about it. This time I thought Trump handled himself correctly, but all being considered, I just don't like either candidate. That's just me. I can't stand either candidate.
Maybe they shot Joe up with placebos tonight, and he thought he was going to get the real juice.
Oh, man. Maybe. He was all spaced out on probably about 60 milligrams of Adderall. I mean, he was just, he was zonked out of his mind, man. He was on it tonight for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, I won't keep. I just wanted to throw that out there, see what you
You know what the
thought.
scary thing is this too. People kind of ignore this one, and Trump brought up a few times. It's not just Social Security. Even if you have, let's say you don't really depend on Social Security. Let's say you're drawing off a nice pension or a nice 401k or an IRA, like you did really well for yourself. You got a big nest egg. Well, that's not who's going to pay for your medical care. You still got to draw on Medicare. You still you got Medicare, right? So I mean, if that all goes away, now you're paying out of pocket. We all know what that's like, right? So, oh my God.
Oh, here's something interesting I just came across. More. What is this? I think this is NBC. Who's Chuck Todd? NBC, right?
NBC.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
One of the things was, would either candidate look like the caricature that the other campaign has been trying to paint of him? And at the end of the day, Joe Biden looks like the caricature that conservative media has been painting. And there were no clips tonight, right? This was, you saw it before your eyes. Look, I don't want to just tell you what I think here, Tom. I've been talking to a lot of leaders in the Democratic Party, electeds, coalition leaders. There's a full-on panic about this performance. Not like, oh, this is recoverable. It is more of a, okay, he's got to step aside. There's a lot of that chatter. This is about as bad of a performance in order to that Biden could have delivered if his goal was to try to sort of calm the waters among Democrats. I mean, look, there was,
Yeah, it's weird. It didn't show that clip, but he says there's no way to replace Biden. He'll never give up. He'll never agree to give up power. Even if they did, they can't turn to Kamala, but also can't catapult someone ahead of her.
Right.
Well, this is Glenn.
They're in trouble. They're in big trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think.
You see the comment below that one, though? It was touching on what Dan was talking about. The comment said something to the effect of, "That sounds like CNN already had her knives.
Had her knives sharpened." Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying the same thing. I'll have to give them that. There's a lot of the same notes being passed around talking about there's panic amongst the Democratic leaders. They need to go talk to Biden.
Yeah, this is.
I mean, they had to know what they were putting up there. They had to know.
You had to know. You had to know. You had to see it. There's no way he aced 7 days at Camp David without a flaw.
No,
it's like
I said earlier on the show. My old man sent me a text message and he goes, "How's Trump doing?" And I said, "Oh man, that's like Eric Dickerson running through a Pee Wee O line." I mean, it's pretty bad, man. It's not even a comparison.
It was, Trump. All he had to do was do what he did. He didn't, just stayed back.
And the good thing,
he just let Trump. Trump just let him go.
Yeah, and you let him talk, and then the best part about it, I thought, was he didn't take the bait. He didn't go in there. There's a few times where he lost control and he went into insult mode. But for the most part, he stayed out of it. He stayed really calm and did his thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's what are we at? June 27th. So I don't think there's a debate scheduled in September. I don't think that happens now.
I don't think it does.
It may not. Well, when is it? Is the debate? Would the debate be after the convention? Because I think the convention's
it was going to be after the conventions.
Ooh.
So I don't think, unless they throw somebody else in there.
If they bring someone else on, there has to be a debate with them, right?
You would think. It's interesting because somebody said a year ago, and I don't remember who it was. I don't know if it was a personal friend or if it was a media member, but they said, I think it was a media member, pretty high up media member too. I just can't remember who said it, but they said they don't think either Trump or Biden will be the nominees when it comes down to it.
Yeah, I heard about that one too. Yeah,
and there could be still what do they call that? The 11th hour surprise or whatever. What do they call it?
Oh yeah.
There could be something. One of these indictments where wasn't there the big one that? But I don't think it was supposed to happen until after the election. But
Not till after the election. The whole
Well, see, here's the thing, though.
secret documents. Yeah,
You could still throw him in jail, but he could run from prison too. It's not going to affect him.
I don't think after tonight's performance,
that's going to
if
matter.
it's Biden and Trump, I don't even think you can have a controversial election, if you get my drift, where Biden wins.
Oh no, yeah, after tonight.
I don't even think you can make him win in a way where you even, let's say there was, some funny business going on with the election. I don't think you can even do that now.
No, not anymore. That house.
If he won, it would be like, what?
Yeah.
But then again, there could be something that happens a few months from now that makes everybody forget.
Absolutely.
Look at this hand over here.
I mean, take a look at Biden's campaign in the last election. It wasn't that great.
No.
It was pretty bad. He stayed in his basement the whole time.
Yeah.
And he still got elected.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
he was weak. He was real weak, but still ended up.
All I know is this. It doesn't bode well for the nation. That's what scares me.
No, it doesn't.
Well, what's scary, Eric? I'm going to ask you guys this, because this is more something that you guys deal with. Could we see? A lot of times, war is a distraction for politicians. We've seen, right? Where
I smell what you're stepping in.
Could we see a catastrophic event happen on our soil that I don't want to say is planned, but maybe not, maybe an eye's turned away from stopping it or something to allow, where, okay, we've got a huge crisis on our hands right now. I don't know. I mean,
well, if you read some news here that came out today, we did push our chess pieces in towards Lebanon.
We're going to get into that. I was planning on getting into that, Will.
And I think, in my speculation, and I've told Eric this before, even on this show, I really think these guys really want a World War III, man. I think they really want to. I think they want something big, catastrophic that makes it so you have to keep him in office.
Nope.
I mean, again,
I can't see that. Look what happened during the Civil War. President Lincoln could have said to hell with the election. He still had. We're in the middle of a civil war, and we had an election.
That's true.
World War II.
Well, different times, though. I mean,
different times, though. Nation's not as moral as it was before.
No.
True.
So pretty.
But I don't see the American people jiving for that. I think there'll be a call. If that happens, there'll be some. It's going to create even a bigger divide in the country.
I'm not so
sure
about that. Yeah. I think the American people are fairly apathetic.
Think so? Even if it comes to make where it looks like, maybe he was one of the reasons why we went down this road in the first place.
I don't know. This generation, whatever this new generation of voters is called, I don't know.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Nope, it's not these new generation, because the voters are still your 60-year-olds.
Right.
It ain't
you'll
these
get,
20
you'll get a cry from a lot of other older people, but there's still a lot of apathy amongst the. I think we've been conditioned the last 8 to 15 years of political infighting that the level of interest. I know I can speak personally. I've become disenfranchised at some points. Like, what the heck?
We all have.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like, why even bother? They're all crooked, and and so things happen, and do we have the fight that we did before? I don't think it's the resolve is.
Well, here's the problem. People need to start taking a look in the mirror. Who am I voting for? Am I voting for the right person? If you have blind loyalty to your party without understanding what the person stands for, that's on you for casting that vote. That's why when you vote, it's an important right, where many people have died to have that right. And for you just to cast it aside because that guy has a D and that guy has an R behind his name, That's absolutely ridiculous. Sometimes if you're a Republican, the Democratic nominee may have better ideas that follows in line with what you feel. I mean, look what happened in New York. That Jamal Brown guy, he got the boot. He was one of the squad members. The Democrats are starting to get tired because the voters are starting to see, hey, what's going on here?
I wouldn't be surprised if Trump gets 25 to 30% of the black vote.
Oh, even if he gets 20%, he wins.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after what he said tonight, because what he said is true. And they know it too. They're feeling it in their communities.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys got to be careful in the chat talking about the Electoral College. Look, if you just had 100% just the vote, it'd be mob rule. You have to have the Electoral College. There's a reason why they have the Electoral College. It's a republic. You're a democratic republic or a republic democracy, however you want to call it. And there's a reason why there's that way is because you don't want mob rule. And if you get mob rule, when you have quote unquote pure democracy, look what happened in the French Revolution.
Yeah.
I mean, perfect example.
One thing to keep in mind is we're not the United States of America. We're actually called the Republic of the United States of America.
Yes. We're a republic. People got to understand that. If you don't understand it, then you guys got to be able to go read the history. It's plain.
We're not a full-blown democracy.
No, we're not. And that's where people got to understand. We're a republic, and there's a reason why. That's why the founding fathers did what they did.
That's why there's a lot of mistake that they go, well, we're a democracy. No, we're not. We're a republic.
Yes, absolutely. And look at some of the history. When they were at the Constitutional Convention, there was a lot of debate on how that, because shortly after the revolution, it became just like I said, pure democracy, and it wasn't having the results that they wanted. They understood there's got to be because what happens is the state of California could overrule the entire freaking nation because of the population alone. You got to be able to balance where a state like Rhode Island can have just as much power as the state of California. As far as
I gotta get running here, but do you see if I can remember? I just lost my train of thought. What was I going to say?
No, I'll be Biden on it.
Yes, now I remember. What do you think the plan was for Biden and the Democrats allowing all these illegal immigrants across the border? Do you think the plan was to make them voters?
Citizens. Yep, 100%.
Yep.
That's what it was.
This 24 election?
No, not for this. No, this is for in the future.
Okay, because
I don't think that's a long game for them. They want to hope. They're hoping that they will eventually become citizens and be able to vote.
Wow.
I mean, well,
and who are they going to support when the government's giving them all the money?
Of course,
you're not going to bite the hand that feeds you.
This is
look how blue Nogales is, man, just down the road from me. Oh my God.
Yep.
This you could have another revolution someday if these immigrants get coming in, get all the benefits, and then there's no benefits for the people who.
Oh, absolutely, Dan. You're 100% correct.
I mean, if my benefits are gone and the people behind me's benefit, the 50-year-old guys, you're talking.
Yeah, I'm right behind you, Dan.
Yeah.
Remember in the 80s, the Cubans, they had a little revolt there in Miami back in the day.
Yep.
All right, guys. Hey, I got to run, but I just wanted to step in, say hello, share those thoughts with you. I'll be watching the rest.
All right, cool, Dan. Have a safe trip, man.
Oh, by the way, I just saw the trade, and man, you're crazy, man.
Here we go with the trades.
Crazy, Dan, man.
I'll see you guys. You win or lose. So I had to play a little bit of MF on you.
yeah, that's what he does. Freaking MF.
All right.
All right, see you, Dan.
Later, man.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Oh, brother. But this, there's a lot of this is going to have long-lasting ramifications as far as the election is going, because that's going to be interesting to see what the Democrats actually do. It seems, you're hearing it everywhere. Everyone's saying the same thing, and I don't know if maybe they're just rolling with whatever, because I think it was John King initially was saying that, right? So maybe they're just taking the lead from him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
This is some
where this goes.
wild stuff. So I couldn't think it was going to get any wilder than this. Now we see CNN like putting the screws on them.
Not just CNN, NBC too.
Oh my God.
And let's not forget, you touched on this. We got stuff getting ready to kick off in northern Israel, over in
That's
Lebanon.
going to be popping off real quick.
They're
let's
already
look at live UA map real quick.
They're already getting ready. They're moving equipment. I know the United States are sending in an amphibious ship. That means they're full of Marines. They're going to head to the Eastern Med, if I'm not mistaken. I think the Roosevelt was leaving the Pacific and is going to replace the Eisenhower. And I think the Eisenhower moved into the Eastern Mediterranean, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I don't know. There's the way everything's looking, it looks like there's going to be a significant operation that Israel is going to be conducting against Hezbollah.
And they already evacuated Americans out of there today.
Yeah, a lot of countries are already telling their citizens to get out of Lebanon now, so they don't get caught up in that. I don't know, because this is going to involve Iran again, of course, because Iran is a huge sponsor of not only Hamas but also Hezbollah. One thing that Israel has been doing ever since October 7th is they've been doing surgical strikes on Hezbollah. They've been knocking off a bunch of their leadership.
Yeah, they did one about 11 hours ago, actually.
Yeah, a lot of surgical strikes against guys driving in their trucks, not suspecting anything, blowing up hotels where there's meetings occurring. So that is getting ready to pop off. Ukraine and Russia, it's still doing a thing. Who knows what's going to happen
the
there?
Philippines and China.
That's always, they're still going at it over there in the South China Sea.
The Philippines are asking hey, just lay off of us, please. That's pretty much what they said. That's all they can do, really.
It's getting pretty bad, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get involved in that here pretty soon. Because look, I don't think it's just when Taiwan eventually kicks off for China going after Taiwan, it's also going to involve the South China Sea. It's not going to stop at Taiwan.
Right.
And if you take control of the South China Sea, I don't know what it's going to be.
You could be.
It's going to be a shitburger for sure.
You could be seeing Imperial Japan again, except it'd be China.
Yeah.
Knocking
Did you
on.
see? You know who's talking about getting nuclear weapons?
Well, I hope it's the Japanese.
South Korea and Japan. They're talking about developing nuclear weapons because they're seeing what's happening. They see what's going on between North Korea and Russia. You know, with that security agreement that they signed.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, they get it. They can't depend on the United States anymore.
South Korea has already warned Russia, you better not send any type of precision munitions to North Korea. Otherwise,
speaking of which, let's go
North
back
Korea.
to my nose.
Hold on, North Korea is sending a combat engineer unit to Ukraine. So that's
giving
big news.
every weapon that we produce, we are giving to the Ukraine in the effort to stop Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Right from Biden's mouth.
Yep.
Where's our own stockpile? Where's our own? What are
we
doing?
have to be in a wartime economy.
Oh.
We're not. That's the problem.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Remember what we did during World War II? Granted, look, this is a totally different level. But what did we do? What did they call the United States during World War II? The arsenal of democracy, because we are able to outproduce every single nation on this earth combined. Now we could barely freaking generate enough military equipment just to freaking fight or to give to Ukraine, let alone our own defense.
How much do you think an Excalibur round costs now? It used to be $100 grand back in the day.
Yeah, who knows how much it costs now?
Probably 300 grand.
The funny thing is that Excalibur round, look how much the bang for the buck compared to a $100 FPV drone that takes out a main battle tank.
Right? We see that every day.
Yeah. It's absolutely nuts, man.
Or a little crappy little drone from Walmart shooting a freaking AT-4. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Oh,
this is so. These are very interesting times.
It is interesting, and you know, Sergey really does a great job. I mean, I cannot express it in any other way than the way he expressed it.
And that's one thing we should never take for granted. These guys lived through the hard times of the Soviet Union. We should be hearing what these guys have to say. We should be listening with our ears wide open, almost like it's gospel. It practically is. They saw the collapse of their nation. They're seeing the collapse of it. And you know what the worst part is? They came to this country because it was better.
Mm-hmm.
And now look at it.
Mm-hmm. Sergey, he also goes on to say, hold on, let me bring this up. He added on to that comment. Again, I'll reread this because I think it's important. This election is doing more to discredit American democracy than Putin and Xi Jinping could ever hope to. Both of those guys are dictators. I am worried about the image projected to the outside world. It is not an image of leadership. It is an image of terminal decline. He goes on to say, I have confidence in America. It has always been able to reinvent itself. But it is troubling to see it stuck in this sad place. There are two important questions at hand. Who is to blame? And what is to be done?
You know, I want to go back to what I kind of said in the beginning real quick. I hope this reinvigorates some kind of American spirit. You saw the debate today and you go to yourself, I want to be a better patriot. I want to be a better American. This is what we got. Are you serious? And do something about it. You know, whether that is, voting or getting out. I mean, just, I don't know. I just like to see the American spirit be picked up after something like this. I think we really truly need something. And we were always talking about, is there an event that can get us all back together or kind of unify the nation? This might be one of those moments. Like, hey, what the hell are we doing here as a country? This is what we got. Are you serious? Let's do something better. Let's be better.
Yeah, how about that? Let's be
I would hope. But I'm probably wrong, to be honest. And I'm kind of a cynical guy.
Oh, man.
Grown men getting married at the Giants game?
Eddie says we are becoming a communist country. Well, we're not quite there yet. But
it's
remember Neil Ferguson in that article talking about the late stage?
We're experiencing
the late stage Soviet?
Late stage collapse. If you guys didn't catch the last episode, we got more guys in here now than we had the last one for sure. Go back on that one. We talked a real good part about the parallel between the collapse of the Soviet Union and what we're facing now.
Yeah, the collapse of the Soviet Union right at the late 80s and where we are today in America in 2024.
And
eerily similar. Eerily.
And to be straight up honest, it's pretty depressing.
It is depressing.
Because we know we're better than that.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Goodness gracious, man.
Yes, sir.
I don't even know. That pretty much covers it, I think.
Yeah. We
can't think
lit it on fire.
Yep. Just keep an eye on what's going on in Israel, guys. That's going to be the next big thing that's going to pop up again. We'll see what that involves, if Iran gets involved, if we get involved. Supposedly, we already gave them the blessing. Supposedly. Allegedly. Fossey, we're doomed. Huh. It looks pretty bad. I don't know if we're doomed, but it's not looking good for the home team.
It doesn't. The reason why we're saying this is because we all, we're not little boys. We've been around the horn a little bit here, so we know how good it used to be. So.
Yep.
Every one of us in the chat, we get it. So I don't know. At the end of the day, we're still a hell of a lot better being here than anywhere else in the world.
It's true. That is absolutely true. It could be a lot worse.
Oh,
could be a lot worse. You bet, Jim. Thanks for showing up, man. Appreciate it. What's up, Moji?
Man.
What's up, Val? Glad you guys were able to join. To recap, the debate was bad. It was bad. It was worse for Biden, but it was still bad. Where do we go from here? I don't know. We'll just take it day by day, I guess.
Remains to be seen.
Exactly. I'm telling you guys, just know, take a look in the mirror, understand who you're voting for. When you're filling out a ballot, just don't sit there and just, have some thought behind it. That's the best way. Have some thought behind it.
I think the better way to think about it is probably you're voting for yourself, you're voting for your family, you're voting for the future.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Well, I think we know who did Fosse's.
Who won? Oh yeah, definitely. Trump won for sure, no doubt about it.
And in case you are wondering, in case you don't want to vote, that's cool. Pencil in Charlotte All.
There you go.
Could be worse. No offense, Charlotte. Charlotte, I love you, man. If you're out there, you're a good
I haven't
guy.
even seen him in here.
I appreciate you.
Oh wait, you know why? Because I gave him the old hee ho. I guess I should bring him back.
Oh,
in.
that's right. Yeah, he was saying some weirdo stuff.
Yeah, hold on. Let me.
Yeah. Charlotte was on it. Charlotte, you gotta stop Buddha so much, my friend. It's not good for you.
What do we got here?
I'm not gonna tell you what to do though, but
There we go.
just
He's good to go now.
just trying to look out for you a little bit, my friend.
He's good to go now. Thanks, Val. Local elections are even more important than national. Absolutely. You're 100%
100%.
correct.
That's where it all
Those
starts.
are very important. Yep. I mean, your county supervisors, your councilmen, your mayors, your governor. Who do you think will replace Joe? Good question, Senior.
Who does, if anybody?
I don't know. He's going to have to be willing to step down at this point. At this juncture, he has to say, I want to be replaced.
Oh, it's personal now. They're talking about the driving range, so he's staying in it.
Yeah, they're talking about their golf game, man. They got serious. He's staying in it, man. The only way they could do it is, I guess, is in the convention, I guess. Right?
Do they have to find him incompetent, or and then he couldn't be president?
Then he can't be president. Then he couldn't
be president. Then Kamala is president. Oh,
correct.
Damn. Wow. Okay.
Correct.
Let's not even think about that, guys. Let's zen on out here.
Yeah, exactly. He thinks he'll step down. We'll see. We'll see. It's possible. You never know, but I don't know. Yes, Fosse, weather rabbit hole.
Massive rabbit hole.
All right, guys. Again, thanks for joining. Appreciate the support there, Will.
No
Thanks
problem,
for
man.
showing up. It was
Anytime.
interesting. The chat, you had a bunch of people in the chat today. Appreciate you guys hanging out, listening to us talk about this.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, guys.
Hopefully, we clarified something.
If anything, hopefully we were a good
Yeah,
medium to bounce off of, so to speak.
exactly. All right, guys. Until next time, who knows when that will be. You can catch me on tomorrow night, pretty late because it's a 7:15 game. You catch me on NorCal Sports Network tomorrow, right around 10 o'clock, maybe earlier. We'll see what happens. All right, guys. Until next time, we'll see you. Thanks, Will.
Peace.
See ya.